to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, we start with a segment about the mysterious black squirrel and where it can be found in the state. Then join us for a story about the powerful cat known as bobcats. Next, we'll have a segment about the variety and history of teacups, followed by a look at the clothesline. And we'll end with a look at baseball legend Jack Johnson. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway to...
A couple of weeks ago, I had a speaking engagement in St. Louis. I took a morning stroll along the tree-lined streets of my friend's neighborhood as the squirrels were scrambling across the street and along the fence tops, up and down the trees, grabbing acorns to store. Yes, lots of squirrels. Gray squirrels. Upon moving to Kansas many moons ago, I was startled to see red and brown squirrels in the park, and I asked about them, only to be informed that they were normal. I am not sure exactly where the east-west dividing line is, but there is one. And on the east side, the squirrels are gray, and on the west side, they are reddish-brown. But Kansas had one more squirrely surprise. Black squirrels. Yes, in one lovely Kansas town, the squirrels are black as coal, black as night, black as pitch. Well, you get the picture. Squirrels. They may be entertaining and they may be a nuisance nesting in the eaves of your house, but in Marysville the squirrel is revered and even has its own festival. But these are not the ordinary brown or gray squirrels running through most of our yards. These squirrels are black, black as night, black as coal, black as the heart of the Wicked Witch herself. In 1972, the governing body of Marysville passed legislation protecting the black squirrel and making it the official town mascot. It has the freedom to trespass on all city property, immunity from traffic regulations, and the first pick of all walnuts growing within the city. Entering Marysville from any direction, there are signs proclaiming, "Marysville, Black Squirrel City." Be on the lookout when driving around town, for the black squirrel has the right-of-way on all the streets, alleys, and railroad crossings. The fine is $25 for harming one. The exclusive profusion of black squirrels in Marysville is a curious phenomenon. The most likely explanation involves a traveling carnival which passed through town in the 1920s and stayed for a few days in the city's park. Among the carnival exhibits was a cage full of black squirrels. One night a child opened the cage and the squirrels escaped. Since then, the squirrels have increased their ranks. About 1/5 of Marysville's squirrel population is now black. Whatever the reason for their presence in Marysville, residents and passers-by seem to love them. Many residents have squirrel boxes attached to their trees, fence posts, and porches. The community thinks they are beautiful, and some think they bring good luck. One of the best places to look for black squirrels is in the city park. These little bundles of energy are most active just after dawn and in the late afternoon. Their highways are the power lines that run through the town. They can cover a lot of territory safely by running over these lines, stopping at favorite trees here and there. They love to sleep and sun themselves on high branches during the day, but often come to earth to forage in the shade. This is the perfect day. Pack a picnic lunch and drive very slowly once you reach the city limits. Lay your blanket in the Marysville City Park and then sit back munching your sandwich and watching the black squirrels at play.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Nevermore do you walk the earth, his spirit rides here still. Roman knows the wild wind blows. Roman knows your legend grows. No one knows if we'll see your lights again.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil, and the decision continues improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
Much more common and quite a bit smaller than mountain lions, bobcats can still strike fear in the heart of the hiker or rancher who happens upon them. Their growl, their bark, their scream, well, it can make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Bobcats get their name from their short or bobbed tail. They have long legs, toes with retractable claws, dark spotted reddish-brown fur on top, and gray fur with black spots on their belly. They don't dig their own dens, but take advantage of what nature offers in brush piles, hollow logs, caves, and in rock outcroppings. They hunt alone from dusk to dawn and rarely use the same daytime resting area. Studies in Kansas reveal that a male bobcat may hunt over an 8-mile territory, while females hunt over a much smaller ground. Bobcats mark their territories with urine, feces, or scratching on trees. In Kansas, these territories are usually scrublands or woodlands. They mostly eat rabbits and hares, mice, birds, and other small creatures, but can take down an injured or small deer. While the kitten is vulnerable, the adults have few predators other than man, though may be killed in territorial disputes with larger animals. In the wild, the bobcat can live up to 14 years. An adult might weigh anywhere from 15 to 30 pounds. So, is the bobcat the same thing as a lynx? While bobcats and lynxes are separate species, they do belong to the same genus, which coincidentally happens to be the lynx genus. There are 4 different species belonging to this group, 3 of which share the family name: the Eurasian lynx, the Spanish or Iberian lynx, and the Canadian lynx. The 4th member, the most common cat native to North America, is the previously mentioned bobcat. The lynx genus, with its 4 species, has the largest range out of all the cats. The Eurasian lynx, the most numerous and widespread of the 4 species, can be found throughout Western Europe and Northern Asia, while the Spanish lynx, the rarest of the 4, is found only in Spain and Portugal. The Canadian lynx lives primarily in Canada and a handful of northern U.S. states, including Maine, Minnesota, Montana, Wyoming, and Washington. So when Europeans came to North America, they encountered a cat a little different than the one they had known in the old country. The native peoples had many stories about the bobcat, and different tribes imbued the creature with different spiritual meaning. Bobcat is used as a clan animal in some Native American cultures. Tribes with bobcat clans include the Creek and the Chickasaw. In the Pawnee tribe, bobcat is a more mythologically important character associated with the stars. Pawnee parents used to wrap their babies in bobcat furs to bring them celestial blessings. Welcome to Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in Oakley, Kansas on I-70 at exit 76. I-70, after all, is America's Main Street, and we're right here on Main Street for you. Now that I'm an Oakley resident, I still come in almost every day, and I sit and listen to the conversations of the people around me. You know, the guys who are talking about the big elk they just bagged, or the folks who are taking their kid to college for the first time. People just traveling up and down the highway. Real people, just like you and me. And they find just what I find here, real people to serve them. There's history, there's scenery. We hope you'll stop and see us soon. Welcome to Oakley.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4960.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call. We can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Let's see if we can put the history of teacups in a cup. We all know that tea came from the Far East, where they drank their tea from a cup without handles, sometimes even brewing the tea in the same cup from which they drank it. For some reason, Europeans burned their fingers, unaccustomed as they were to drinking piping hot beverages. Ale, after all, is fine at room temps. The Chinese, being brilliant marketers and packagers, sent their beautiful porcelain teapots and cups with their tea to Europe. In fact, the tea was used to protect the porcelains, the blue and white classic designs that became standard in the homes of affluent Europeans. Eventually, though, they grew tired of importing pots and cups and thought, we can make this. But their creations just couldn't take the heat, literally. Until, in 1707, a German alchemist mixed kaolin clay into his porcelain, and a whole new industry was born. And in the process, cups got handles. While high tea and formal teas may seem a thing of the past, and the fancy tea service of our grandmother's era and before seems passé, there are still few pleasures as comforting as the beautiful brewed tea in a lovely porcelain cup. And as you are sipping, whisper a word of thanks for that guy who put handles on the cups, so that you don't burn your dainty fingers.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
My name's Karen Cope and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but you know what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue. And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. You know, after stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before, because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards and to be able to win at cards. You know, they all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? You know, where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
I'm Sarah, and this is my husband, Travis. We both grew up working on family ranches, me in Northern California and Travis in Kansas. We met in college, got married, and took corporate jobs in the beef industry. But soon we realized we missed the production side of the industry.
So we made the daring move to start our own cattle business in southeast Kansas, while also starting our family.
Watch our story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at kansaslivingmagazine.com/meetafarmer.
Mark your calendars for Tuesday, March 26th in Beloit, where the first ever Stock Growers Field Day will be held by K-State Research and Extension, the Kansas Livestock Association, and the Kansas Bull Test. The event will be highlighted by a market outlook from Cattle Facts, as well as a presentation from well-known reproductive physiologist Dr. Rick Funston, where he speaks about increasing production efficiency. From there, we'll also play host to over 30 ag-based businesses in the trade show and enjoy breakout sessions where producers can listen to speakers on topics that apply directly to their operation. This event should cater to producers of all size and scale and offer a social aspect as well, so we look forward to seeing you there for the inaugural Stock Growers Field Day in North Central Kansas.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
It was a perfect summer day on the High Plains. Hot, but not excessively so. Windy, but not blowing barrels across the yard. It was the perfect day to hang out laundry. We have a dryer and thus have no need of the clothesline. We have been so far behind on mowing because of all the events we have been involved in that I was afraid to get near the clothesline in the tall grass if I had wanted to use it. But once there was a path cleared and I had some quilts that needed to be washed, I took advantage of that rare perfect day to hang them outside. Is there anything more beautiful than clean laundry on a clothesline on a perfect day? Granny washed clothes on Tuesdays. Her wringer washer sat on the porch, and she filled tubs of water from the spigot out front, heated them on the wood stove in the kitchen. Her laundry hamper was an appliance box, left over no doubt from one of Daddy's jobs. Granny covered it in green floral wallpaper, and I thought it the cleverest idea in the world. Wash day was an all-day affair, and the glorious fruits of her efforts were all those clean sheets and towels hanging from the line. If it rained, Granny hung the laundry upstairs in the loft over the kitchen. There were lines stretched across it, too. There was a vent cut in the floor just above the kitchen stove, so hanging clothes out in the summer could be pretty steamy, but in the winter it was perfect. One of those Tuesdays that it rained, I went with Grandpa to the store to get wash powders. The storekeeper asked, "Surely Maggie's not going to wash clothes today? It's raining." Grandpa replied, "I reckon she would wash clothes on Tuesday if the house was burning down." Granny giggled when I told her that. I told everything. My clothesline in Kansas, 1,000 miles away from that spot and 1,000 years in time, takes me back. I bury my face in the quilt and fill my lungs with the smell of grass and sky, old quilts, and precious memories.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
Join us April 6th for the Gardner Angus Ranch 40th Anniversary Spring Production Sale at the ranch near Ashland, Kansas. The sale will feature 342 registered bulls, 386 registered females, and 532 bred Gardner Angus influenced commercial females. The sale will start at 9 a.m. sharp. If you are unable to join us in person, you can bid online by going to liveauction.tv and register prior to the sale. At Gardner Angus Ranch, you aren't just buying a breed, you are buying a brand backed by 4 generations of disciplined seed stock production. We hope to see you April 6th at the ranch.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Topeka Jack Johnson passed away in 1940, and his grave in the capital city's Mount Auburn Cemetery was unmarked for more than half a century until just weeks ago. A well-known baseball player, manager, and promoter decades prior to the integration of the major leagues, Johnson was also a prominent boxer. He later served on the Topeka Police and Fire Departments. On the day his marker was dedicated, a celebration of his life was held at the Brown v. Board of Education National Historic Site with a special celebration of Johnson's life. The headstone was provided by the Negro League's Baseball Grave Marker Project, a subsidiary of the Society of American Baseball Research. He founded and managed the Topeka Giants in 1906, taking them on a tour of Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, and Kansas. He went on to play for and manage the Kansas City, Kansas Giants in 1909 and 1911, and the Kansas City, Missouri Royal Giants in 1910. During these years, he worked with players like Tully McAdoo, Bill Pettis, a young 18-year-old Bill Lindsay, Bingo DeMoss, and Hurley McNair. In 1917, Johnson managed Jack Johnson's Topeka Giants, a team that played at least one game against the All Nations Baseball Club. The events honoring him were sponsored by the Negro League's Baseball Grave Marker Project and Shawnee County Baseball Hall of Fame and Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Foundation. Negro League's author Phil Dixon commented about the ceremonies, "I was very happy to see Johnson getting a bit of the recognition he earned. Back in the 1980s, I began writing about his accomplishments and researching his life." Roosevelt Butler of KCK provided me with a photograph of Johnson managing the 1909 Kansas City, Kansas Giants. That season, Johnson led the Giants to 54 consecutive victories. Fred Langford, who lived in Kansas City, Kansas, was the first to tell me about Johnson's boxing career and that Topeka Jack had fought world champion Jack Robinson in Leavenworth, Kansas. Langford also played for the Kansas City, Kansas Giants. Speaking of Langfords, Topeka Jack also fought Sam Langford in Topeka, Kansas. This information was first published in one of his books. There's much more to the story, and I'm glad to have played a role in keeping his history alive. And so there it is, the story of Topeka Jack Johnson. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream. We're the best part of